Hujan honestly couldn't believe a word Chamuhi was saying. In his mind, she was just acting again. And let's be real, she's always been a top-tier actress. But now she was pretending to be Darami too. He snaps, "I don't trust anything you say. Leave my house right now." But this wasn't the simple, obedient Chamuhi. This was Darami, and Darami does not take orders. She stands outside for a moment, waits for the right chance, and then literally runs back into his house like, "Nice try, darling." As soon as she gets inside, she mixes something into his water and hides. And yes, our hero drinks it. The second he does, his heart starts racing and he feels dizzy. Darami steps out calmly and says, "When I wake up, I'm often Chamuhi, and I didn't want you and her alone together because I came here to destroy your relationship." And the moment she says that, Hujan passes out on the sofa. Next morning, he wakes up completely shocked. He still thinks she was acting, but then he realizes, wow, she drugged my water. Wow, that's not acting. That's crime with confidence. Later, when he reaches the show set, he sees Chamuhi standing there. She came to return the dress she accidentally took from the shoot. But then a torn piece of paper falls from her pocket. Chamuhi has no idea where it came from, but we know it was the same paper Darami was reading in the library yesterday. Hujan looks at her expression and immediately understands. That really was Darami in my house. Darami wasn't just causing chaos, she was living her best life, doing everything Chamuhi never could, like barging into her uncle's house during a church ceremony for a newborn baby, and giving her uncle and aunt the most savage reality check ever. She basically dropped emotional bombs everywhere, but of course, no swearing. Even Darami has standards. Church is her no-cross line. Meanwhile, Kurosawa is also falling hard for her bold personality. He meets her and demands an explanation. "You promised to meet me. Why didn't you call? And you kissed me." Chamuhi is completely confused. She doesn't even understand his language properly, but with gestures and broken English, she gets the message, and she realizes Darami has been running wild behind her back. Now, Chamuhi starts noticing strange gaps in her memory. People talk to her about things she never did. And Hujan, after thinking deeply, finally accepts the truth. Darami really exists. He remembers Chamuhi once saying, "Darami lives in my mind. I want to win, not her. Stay on my side." Their show was supposed to continue in Italy. Hujan originally planned not to go, but now he goes anyway because he doesn't want Darami to win. He wants Chamuhi to win. In Italy, Darami greets him with her playful attitude, calling him darling, darling like it's her full-time job. That day at lunch, she goes on a shopping spree so massive that her credit card limit literally collapses. Hujan says, "This money is Chamuhi's. You can't waste it like this." Then he pulls a genius move. Since Darami doesn't know Italian, he returns all the expensive dresses. The refund will go back into Chamuhi's account in 3 days, meaning Darami can't shop anymore. Darami is basically grounded financially. Hujan starts talking to her, trying to understand her weakness, and she finally admits, "When we get extremely sad or extremely happy, our personalities switch." Now, Hujan tries to make her emotional enough so Chamuhi can come back, and finally, it works. But Darami, being Darami, pulls one last trick. She sends Kurosawa a photo and calls him there. So the moment Chamuhi returns, she freezes. Kurosawa is standing there, Hujan is standing there, and she's stuck in the middle like the world's most stressful love triangle sandwich. Soon, their Italy shoot begins. Chamuhi is singing opera lyrics in Italian, shocked that she remembers them. The reason? Hujan taught them to Darami, and since they share overlapping memories, Chamuhi can sing them too. That only deepens her suspicion. When she checks her photo gallery, it's full of photos she doesn't remember taking. Flashback shows Darami spent the entire day partying, dinner with Kurosawa, snacks with Hujan, drinks, shopping, and endless teasing. Hujan, the most serious man alive, is standing there thinking, my life has turned into a circus and Darami is the ringmaster. Then Darami proudly tells him, oh, and I also went to Chamuhi's uncle's house and got revenge in church. Hujan doesn't even scold her. He actually says, well, good job. Then he adds softly, sometimes I even feel sorry for you. Darami smirks, don't, I'm ruthless. And then she crosses the line. She steals Kurosawa's camera from the shoot. Hujan loses it. First mischief, now theft? Darami says, relax, I stole it so Chamuhi can return it tomorrow, and their bond will become unbeatable. He'll even give her opera tickets. Her goal? Make Kurosawa and Chamuhi closer and erase Hujan from her life. Because Darami believes Hujan has hurt Chamuhi too much. Hujan is stuck. He wants Darami gone, but he's also jealous. So he secretly returns the camera himself, saving Chamuhi from being labeled a thief. But Chamuhi remains sad. Seeing the aurora reminds her of her old love, and she becomes emotional. And the moment she does, Darami takes over again. Kurosawa notices her suddenly crying, then laughing, then changing. He starts quietly following her. Darami turns around and makes her signature movie-style gesture. Kurosawa's eyes widen. That's Darami. For Hujan, the biggest red flag is simple. Whenever she calls him darling, Darami is back. And today, Darami reveals the darkest truth. Chamuhi's mother is a murderer. She killed her father and even tried to kill Chamuhi. The world found out, and her family hated her, believing, like mother, like daughter. Darami becomes emotional and hugs Hujan. I want to disappear from her life, but for that, you must leave her. If you say goodbye, I'll vanish too. One night, all the colleagues are having dinner together, and at the same time, Hujan is secretly walking around with Darami. By coincidence, the team is about to spot them, so Hujan quickly hides her under his coat and slips away. And honestly, that looked so suspicious that the coworkers instantly start thinking, wait, Mr. Hujan grew up in Italy. Does he have an Italian girlfriend? And of course, the next day, Chamuhi overhears this rumor on set. Her heart sinks. So he rejected me in 2 minutes, but suddenly he has a whole Italian love story at night? A misunderstanding is officially born. Meanwhile, Kurosawa and Chamuhi's pairing on set is going amazingly. Their chemistry is literally exploding on screen. Next, their shoot is supposed to happen at a winery. The previous location had issues, so they arrange a new one. And plot twist, it belongs to Hujan's mom. The next day, there's also going to be a wedding event there. No one knows whose winery it is, but Hujan's mom is thrilled. After years, she'll finally see her son. Because yes, there were misunderstandings between mother and son, and they've been in a Cold War for a long time. But now, that Cold War is about to end. When the shoot is almost over, Chamuhi notices a photo and suddenly connects the dots. This is your mom's winery, isn't it? She gets so happy and asks, have you met your son yet? His mom smiles sadly. He must be busy. Then Chamuhi removes her earpods and hands them over. Look at the camera. He's watching you. They wave hello in front of everyone. It's awkward, sweet, and emotional. But then Hujan walks in and immediately dumps all his frustration on Chamuhi. She's like, how was I supposed to know you two were fighting? Chamuhi insists, you have to meet her properly. She made food for you. Hujan says, and you're coming too. Chamuhi blinks. Me? He replies, she can't cook. Why should I suffer alone? You'll eat it too. Honestly, that's not romance. That's revenge dinner. Then Chamuhi notices a handsome Italian man walking inside. Isn't that the guy getting married tomorrow? Why is he going in? They follow and find him standing with Hujan's mom checking her burnt hand. Hujan sees this and instantly loses it. Stay away from my mom. And before anyone can explain, boom, full misunderstanding fight. Hujan and the man start throwing hands like it's an action movie audition. Finally, mom stops them and drops the real bomb. This is your future stepfather. I'm marrying him tomorrow. Silence. Then chaos. Mother and son explode with years of buried anger. She says, "How could I tell you? You never answered my calls." Hujan says, "And Uncle never told me." Turns out, Uncle was saving it as a surprise. In the middle of all this, Chamuhi purposely falls down dramatically to distract them, because yes, she sacrifices herself for peace. Hujan catches on. "Why did you fake falling? You could have hurt yourself." Chamuhi shrugs. "At least your Cold War ended. My injury wasn't a waste." Now we learn the deeper backstory. Hujan's mom was much younger than his dad, once his student. Their love story ended badly, but she still deserves happiness and a new life. Their biggest fight happened because Hujan published a novel based on his parents' love story, and his mom felt her private life was exposed. They both regretted it later, but the communication link was already broken. Finally, they reconcile. Chamuhi and the future stepdad are genuinely happy. Next day is the wedding ceremony. Everyone attends. Hujan watches Chamuhi quietly. He wants her life to be peaceful, and Dorami's condition was clear. "If you leave her, I'll disappear." So Hujan decides he will distance himself from Chamuhi. He grabs a strong wine bottle. His mom notices. "Why are you drinking so heavily? Did that actress break your heart?" Hujan denies it. Mom sighs. "You've always been like this, hurt inside but pretending you're fine." And yes, Hujan is in pain. Meanwhile, Chamuhi is still obsessed with one thing, finding out about the Italian girlfriend. She even tries reading Italian messages on his phone and gets caught. She was a terrible spy. Now, Hujan has already made his painful decision. With a stone on his heart, he tells her, "I want you to live the glory you dreamed of." He knows if Dorami stays, Chamuhi's illness one day will be exposed. So he says goodbye and walks away. Then comes the final day of the shoot, the same scene we saw at the very beginning. It's the last day, and Kurosawa has completely fallen for Chamuhi. In front of everyone, he confesses his love. Chamuhi panics and whispers to Hujan, "What do I say? Tell me." Hujan, cold and professional, replies, "Say whatever you want. I'll translate." That line shatters her heart. Chamuhi says, "I don't need you." And then, in English, she answers Kurosawa, "I was very happy working with you. Thank you so much for everything. And I have the same feelings for you." Hujan feels like he's been bitten by a snake. Everyone leaves, but he stays sitting there, frozen. One crew member, who understands their chemistry too well, secretly records Hujan's reaction. Meanwhile, manager Yoon tells Kurosawa excitedly, "So she likes you." But Kurosawa quietly says, "No, I was rejected long ago." He was smart enough to notice. Chamuhi looked more hurt than happy, and the interpreter was far too close. After the show, Kurosawa gives Chamuhi opera tickets. They go together, VIP seats. But suddenly, Chamuhi remembers something and rushes out. Outside, she meets Kurosawa's manager, who says, "That night at dinner, we saw Hujan with his girlfriend, and her heels were exactly like yours." Chamuhi freezes. Those heels are limited edition, meaning that girlfriend was Dorami. She stands there in shock, and then the crew member sends her footage, a message. "Whenever you spoke, Hujan's expressions were shown on screen too, so if he could see you, you deserve to see him." The video shows Hujan crying after her confession. Chamuhi breaks. All memories crash back. Dorami. All the moments Dorami spent with Hujan. He had no other girlfriend. And Dorami's condition, "If he leaves you, I'll leave too." Now Chamuhi understands everything. She cries uncontrollably. As she's about to leave, Hujan arrives. Chamuhi says firmly, "I know everything, all the moments you spent with Dorami." Hujan is shocked. She was supposed to erase the memories. Chamuhi whispers, "How could she? You live inside those memories." And then, Hujan kisses her. He says, "Now I won't let you run away in fear, and I won't run either. This is the time to understand our emotions." And that's where the story truly turns from chaos into love.